Anyway, so I put this thing on the keychain, right? Weird thing is, right? It's off, right? So, this was a while back too, right? It's when I bought the Honda and the keys for the house for the new lot, right? The new door. Well, I kind of had them, kind of on both the Honda key, right? Here, right? Oh, kind of safe. But this afternoon when I got home, the little keychain here fell down, fell out in my pocket. And I don't recall uh, uh, how that happened. I don't think I took the keychain off the key. A group of keychains. Right? So that was weird. That was weird. All I'm thinking too, right? So it's back on anyway. So I'm trying to do my lab and all that. Answer the questions right. So I'm still working out how the problems work. See, they got so many different ways to do it. Am I solving for this or that or um? And sometimes it confuses me a little bit. Right? That's because I grew up with '80s math, right? Well, that was kind of simplistic and not a whole lot of formulas, and that you went into, was that trigonometry or something, right? Now, there's a little bit in algebra, but nothing this, you know, advanced, right? Right. But I ain't saying I can't figure it out either. It's just a little different kind of math that I'm used to. Now, it's mainly these questions that seem to be giving me a little bit of a problem. See, it's something like if you, and this is from UMA, so I'm giving them credit, right? So if you dilute 300 milliliters of 8% benzocaine lotion to 5%, how much could you produce? So you got 300 milliliters, right? And I guess it's saying about 8% of it is benzocaine lotion or something, right? That's why I get a little confused. What are you looking for? Right? Right. uh, and they want to dilute it, right? Okay, to 5%, right? And they want to know how much you can produce if you do that. Right? But you have 300 milliliters. What's that about? See, that's where I'm getting a little bit confused with all this, right? So all right, 300 milliliters is the total volume, right? I know that much, right? And 8% of it, I know, is the benzocaine, right? And they also want to reduce it to 5%, right? So, if I'm reading it right, and they want to know how much you can produce if you do that. I guess, right? Well, like I said, I ain't really encountered math problems like this ever, right? So it's giving me a little bit of the confusion here, right? Now, this one is a little bit different, and I think I got that right. This one says, you received the physician's order. Give 600 milliliter D5W to patient. Calculate the metric weight in grams, right, of the dextrose in this fluid bag. If I'm right, there is 5 grams of the dextrose per 100 milliliters. Is that what they're saying? Right. Or milligrams, right? So, and I guess the dextrose is the sugar part, right? See, dextrose is sugar, and it's usually in grams or milligrams, right? So, I divide the 6 milliliters by 100 because it's per 100 milliliter. You have the 5 grams of sugar, I guess, right? The dextrose, right? So every 100 milliliters of it, there's 5 grams of dextrose because it's sugar, right? Is that what it's saying? And then you divide the 100 into the 600, and then that makes it 6. And then 6 times 5 is 30, right? Is that right? No, I don't know. 30 grams, right? So if 75 grams of active ingredient powder is mixed with 250 milliliters normal saline, what is the final concentration? And this is weight divided by volume. And the grams, okay, is the weight, and the 250 milliliters is the volume. So we want the final concentration of the powder to the liquid, I guess, right? So do you divide 75 into 250, or 250 into 75, right? See, how you divide matters too in math, right? If you divide 75 into 250, the smaller number into the larger number, you'll get a decimal point, right? And then I think you multiply that by 100, and that might give you the concentration in a percentage, maybe. I know. I'm trying to figure it out, right? The next one was if you add 18 grams of benzoic acid to 100 grams of an ointment base, what is the final concentration of the product, right? Well, ain't that just simply adding the 18 and the 103? Because they want the final concentration of the whole product, I guess, right? So ain't that simply adding 18 grams to 103 grams and you get 121 grams? I guess. See, like I said, if I have a problem, I try to let someone know, right? If everything's okay, it's okay. But if it's not, I don't understand something, and I don't know what quite the problem is. I try to talk it out with somebody now. Now, in the Navy, right, the problem there was the shipmates not training me like I'm supposed to know everything, right? Hell, I didn't even know the books had to do with the work guard. That's how clueless I was to that train of thought. No one in A school or on the ship said, "Hey, Shane, do you know these books on the shelf? You're supposed to use them with work guard." And I'm like, I'd have been like, "Oh, okay." Maybe that's why I'm having a problem doing the job and don't know what the hell I'm working on. Don't want to leave it look like, but I'm having to look around the area and trying to figure out what I'm working on. Because I don't know. Right? I don't know what I'm looking on because the work card only tells me how to do the job. It don't actually show me what the piece of equipment I'm working on looks like. It's just instructions on how to do the job. And I do know I'm supposed to try and figure out what I'm supposed to work on, so I'm in the area looking around for the shit. Like when Master Chief saw me going to the work area I was supposed to be working in, that was real. I'm really going to the work area. Master Chief or Senior Chief or whatever you were. Chief of the 3 chiefs rankings, right? But there again, I'm trying to do the job, but I don't know what I'm doing because they're only giving me the work right. The whole time I'm on the ship. Now, do King and Ben know? Does even Master Chief or Senior Chief or Chief know? Right? Sure. But what has to be happening, though, is when it gets to him what I'm trying to do, right, is that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think it dawned on him if King is telling him he should know this by now, or something like that. And it's kind of backstabbing me like he's been training me the whole time and been when they're not. See, they're fronting that they were training me when they were. Maybe. And it didn't come to a head till I ran into Sheena overseas anyway. We were both on the Mediterranean or on the Shenandoah and me on the Saipan. Well, like I'm trying to tell her now, well, guess who was giving me my letters? The guy who was trying to get me in trouble with everything from not training me in how to be an electrician, which, I can't really talk to you then. You tried to cut off all communications, whatever the hell was going on there, besides me talking about being one of the two witnesses in my handwritten letters to you and sending you handwritten Bible studies. I don't know what I was doing wrong. Even. Only thing I can figure out, okay, is King's also sabotaging our relationship without me having a clue what he was doing too, right? See, that's what a backstabber does, Sheena. They trick you into thinking everything's okay, but it's not. They're interfering without you really sure what's going on, right? All I know is you're breaking up with me for some reason, and I'm talking about getting married in Jerusalem in my letters to you. Because we're in the Mediterranean and stuff like that, so I'm trying to be romantic in a way. But I'm also not opposed to the idea of going back to Virginia, get married there, or whatever, It's just an idea I had, right? So I think you're responding to that in my letters, right? But if Ben and King are writing you evil, fucked up letters, I don't know that either. I'm not thinking they would do that either, you know what I mean? Because guess what? You don't. You don't know what's going on. Exactly, right. Now, if someone's sabotaging you, the saboteurs know what they're doing. But the one they're sabotaging, which is me and Tina, right? She's treating it like it's really me, I guess. I don't have a clue they're doing something like that, or what they're doing specifically. I'm taking, well, she can't handle like Pastor Thomas, and I'm going to the two witnesses, or something, right? Again. I'm reacting, though, still being me, but I don't know what happened with Sheena and why she's getting so mad with me and what I said wrong, See, I asked her to fast about it and stuff like that, so I'm thinking that's what she had a problem with, me asking her to fast for a couple of days, like I did. I'm thinking her church maybe never taught her to fast or something. So I don't know exactly what's going on, right? And I'm trying to tell her all this in other letters I'm writing her, even after she breaks up, because I don't know what's happening, right? I don't know why she's actually breaking up with me. And she's so mad about whatever's being said, she don't want to ever hear from me again. So I don't know what that's going on. And I can't convince her. No, I don't know what you're talking about. That was the problem too with her. Now, like I said, all this is to try and figure out, maybe from her in what was actually said to her from my letters to her that really bothered her. Because I don't know. I'm a Christian, Sheena. I'm not going to write my new girlfriend anything that a Christian won't be comfortable hearing. Now, have I been around the world after all that? Yeah, I've been through all kind of shit. That's why I cuss a little more now. But not every other word like some people do. But there again, I don't judge those who do and those who don't. Right? I learned something new, right? Part of what Satan did, okay, was he used something natural, even if it was a fruit tree, and made something about eating of it evil. Maybe it tasted funny. Right? But whatever it was, it killed us slowly over 1,000 years, I guess. Because 930 years later, which means a day is 1,000 years, right? Well, it's 930 if Adam was told he would die in the day he ate thereof. From 1,000. 70, right? Right. So, sometime in the seventh day, in the 70th year of the seventh day, Adam ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, whatever the hell that was. And lived 930 years later, and that's why Moses said, a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years, or Peter, I'm sorry, as a day. Right. But Moses said it as a night in the watch or something like that, in Psalms 90, I think, 4. But again, what does that mean? What does that mean? Anyway, and was it sex alone, or was it a certain kind of sex that Satan did with both Eve and Adam that they hadn't done yet, too? Think about it that way. So it was something sexual, too, right? Whatever it is, okay, right, they actually did with Satan, they thought it was good and evil to do it, too, right? So that's part of what it means, the knowledge of good and evil. That's why the Gnostics say, so what, the serpent was wise and tempted Eve to eat the forbidden fruit because God forbade the knowledge of good and evil? Or by eating of the fruit and the other trees in the fruit, whatever the tree's fruit was, might have tasted different. I don't know. What would actually kill them, though, if they ate of a fruit tree? It's like I told you before, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil. So, that means what? Satan too ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And even with Adam and Eve, and he died first or something? I don't know. Why did God forbid it as well? There has to be a reason for it to cause you, out of all the other trees in the garden, that would not cause you to die as well. If it was a fruit tree, you would have what? The pear tree, the apple tree, the fig tree. That obviously wasn't the fruit they were talking about, because those fruit trees are still here. You know what I mean? Though the story does mention the fig leaf. From the what tree? Fig tree. Fig tree. And Jesus cursed the fig tree in one of the stories in the Bible. And it shriveled up and died or something. Why? We don't know. But, like Jesus said, else to make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt, or make the tree good and its fruit good, right? Too. What does that mean? What does that mean? What about this one act? And Isaiah also said, you shall eat the fruit of your doings, right? Did this cause Adam and Eve to sin? Right? That's the whole problem there too, right? You don't quite understand what this tree did to them that was so different, right? That they thought they sinned too, right? Or did something good and evil too. That's why I suggest, okay, well, the Gnostics talk about Eve and Adam having sex with the angel Nos in Baruch by Justin. Okay. Well, Adam would have to get it up a different area. Eve could too now. So could Satan too now. I mean, Nos. Yeah. Now, gay can also be, to the Jew, a Gentile. Hey, is the name of one of the Gentile units in, I think, the Queen of Sheba's court, I think. Something like that. If I remember correctly. But anyway, who had 1,000 wives and, 1,300 concubines, 700 girlfriends, sorry. Concubines, whatever you want to call them. Wow, busy man. But now, what's going on though, right? With all these weird stories in the Bible too. Right? Some of them sound outlandish, right? Solomon had him a little harem going on there. David too, he had about 17 women himself, or 18, something like that. So he had a few before he became king. When he went to Jerusalem, he had 10 virgins there, who Absalom also slept with, and things like that, right? Right? These stories are just like Game of Thrones type shit, like I said before. he has a child with Bathsheba, and mysteriously the child dies 7 days after it's born because he slayed Uriah. Well, I mean, murder goes on all over the place, but no one's child actually dies from it, you know what I mean? Right. Okay. But the Lord did all that. I guess. Right? Whatever. But is it religious sarcasm? No. Because the Lord don't do all that now. You see what I mean? See, what it kind of means about the knowledge of good and evil is you either think what you're doing is right or wrong. Could it be as simple as that? And you either condemn yourself for it, like Jesus pointed out, or you what? Forgive yourself. Is that too not the knowledge of good and evil? Yeah. Why? Religious people think they know you and I should have one life. Not 1,000 like Solomon. Right. I'm just saying, right. Or 300 or whatever, right. But that's just have one life. Each man his own life, right. But there again, in the modern age, we had the 70s and the love fest and the free love and all that. And then we had the pimps and the prostitutes come out the bag, too, right. They want to get paid for it. Give me a 50. You can fuck my woman. Let's get my French there. You can have sex with my woman. All right. Okay. Some people did that. Mm-hmm. Then you had the homosexual prostitutes come out. They give you hand jobs, hummers, and things like that. Not the vehicle. Right? You don't know what a hummer is? I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But anyway, some people call it not a blowing, but a hand job, right? Maybe it's both, and a little bit, I don't know. Something like that. But again, prostitute sex is what? Bad. Sex with a girlfriend is what? Good. The knowledge of good and evil again. People condemn people who buy sex from a woman or go out to a strip club, right? But people who find a wife or a girlfriend, they what? Don't condemn. But is that not in itself hypocrisy? Because you pay your wife to marry you and you take care of her as if she's your prostitute like Hosea did his. Who also went into prostitution, but he brought her back. You see what I mean? To be his wife and take care of her. But you don't read that in the Bible to people either, do you? You know how I learned about Hosea? Later on when I was older. They didn't even mention him in Sunday school class like I keep telling you. I'm like, well, what the hell is this Hosea character all about? He marries this prostitute, right? And she goes back into prostitution. He has a few children with her. Don't even know they're his, I guess, right? If you're reading the plot correctly, right? So this little book. It's not Daniel, that's for sure. He was a eunuch. He had it cut off, is what that means, right? He didn't have no balls, right? In modern language. Or testicles if you want to get medical. But again, okay. That shit went on. They would also make people eunuchs, like in History World Part 1 by Will Brent, right? Where Gregory Hines' character, right? He's in a harem with the women, and he don't look like no eunuch. You know, the eunuchs are big men, right? Because you cut the things off and they kind of get big because of testosterone. You know, it's still in the body, but it makes you bigger. And again, you kind of like a bull in a china shop after that. Getting the point. Though the Lord says in one of the Isaiahs, 54 or 50, somewhere there, maybe 56 or 60, somewhere down there, that let not the eunuch say, I am a dry tree. For some reason, too. And Daniel goes to the lion den, And he says the Lord will preserve him from the mouth of the lions, and he remains calm. The whole time he's in there with the lions, right? They don't eat him, as he said. But the men who betrayed him to the king, by making the king make a decree to worship no one but him for a day or something like that, right? And he knows Daniel can't do that, right? Daniel is worshiping a spirit, not flesh and blood, right? Something you might not also understand about Jesus, too. Jews. Yes, Jesus is the firstborn of every creature. Yes, Jesus is the Son of God. Yes, Jesus is God in the flesh. Guess what? We all are. We all are. But the thing is, being God in the flesh, right, doesn't mean God, if he becomes human, isn't human then either. I kind of forget that too. See, a spirit made flesh still has to worship the spirit outside the body and not just the body itself. Kind of like the Muslims kind of point out, we're all human here. They're kind of worried about that too. And what it means, though, is Jesus is the true leader, though, or God, right? And Satan, who is the god of this world, is the fake leader. Right? But the difference is they're in the same form, but Satan may have sinned with Adam and Eve and Eden. They're not telling you all that up front either. There's certain details you got to read in Ezekiel 31 that clues you in that there was a tree in Eden that Pharaoh and Lebanon, their rulers were compared to. And this tree was envied. This tree was very important, just like King Nebuchadnezzar was also a tree. So again, you're seeing metaphors in the Bible about trees, human beings, and a correlation there. So was the tree in Eden Satan's human form? And was the tree of life Jesus' human form? Plot says yeah. The book says yeah. Even the new, John said, every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Right? So did Jesus. So again, there's a pattern about trees that you're playing dumb about to see the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is the human being that represented the devil. Two, like in the Ninth Gate and stuff like that with Johnny Depp and Emmanuel Creaky or whatever he was, where he has sex with the devil. Get the point? The female devil, though. She's a girl. Or hermaphrodite. See. Plot thickens. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So, So, a hermaphrodite, though, might get two holes and let you get its hole to get your hole. If you're a man. You know what I mean? If you watch the movies they make for them, make them do. Well, I gotta go to finish my schoolwork. Trying to figure out this math stuff. Bye.